Is the Lakers' 15-5 record nothing more than fool's gold? A shiny illusion hiding a fatal flaw that will shatter their championship dreams the moment the playoffs begin? Let me paint you a picture that should terrify every Lakers fan reading this. Your team looks dominant on paper. 15 wins, only 5 losses, sitting comfortably as the second seed in the Western Conference. Luka Doncic is putting up MVP numbers. LeBron James is defying Father Time once again. Austin Reeves has blossomed into a legitimate third option. The offense is humming. The wins are piling up, and the vibes around Crypto.com Arena are immaculate. But underneath that glossy surface, there's a structural crack so severe that it threatens to bring the entire championship foundation crashing down. According to a devastating analysis published today by Newsweek and echoed by one of the most plugged-in Lakers insiders in the business, Jovan Buha, the Lakers have a problem that no amount of offensive firepower can solve. They're slow, they're unathletic, and most damning of all, they're defensively vulnerable in ways that elite playoff teams will absolutely exploit. The proposed solution isn't a minor tweak or a tactical adjustment. It's radical surgery. It's a blockbuster trade that would send shockwaves through the entire league. And it centers on one player who could transform everything, Herbert Jones of the New Orleans Pelicans. But here's where it gets painful for Lakers fans. To get Jones, to acquire the defensive savior who could actually make this championship run legitimate, the Lakers would need to sacrifice someone. And that someone, according to this analysis, is Rui Hachimura, the same Rui Hachimura, who was supposed to be a foundational piece, the same player the Lakers invested significant resources to acquire and extend, the same offensive weapon who seemed like the perfect complement to LeBron and Anthony Davis just 2 years ago. Before we dive into why Herbert Jones is the answer, we need to understand just how broken the Lakers' current defensive structure actually is. And trust me, when you see these numbers, you'll understand why the panic is real. Jovan Buha recently revealed a statistic that should make Rob Pelinka lose sleep every single night. When the Lakers' starting front court trio of LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton share the court together, the team has a defensive rating of 128.3. Let me repeat that number because it's so catastrophically bad that it bears repeating. 128.3. To put that in perspective, that would be, by a significant margin, the worst defense in NBA history is sustained over an entire season. We're not talking about bottom 5. We're not talking about bottom 10. We're talking about historically, unprecedentedly, apocalyptically bad defense. And this isn't some small sample size anomaly. This is the Lakers' starting front court, the combination that's supposed to anchor their championship aspirations. But it gets worse. The net rating for that trio, the measure of how the Lakers perform overall, when those three are on the court together, is negative 5.6. Think about what that means. The Lakers are actively losing the minutes when their 3 biggest front court players are playing together. The combination that should be dominating opponents, that should be the foundation of everything they do, is instead bleeding points and hemorrhaging possessions. How did this happen? How did a team with LeBron James, one of the smartest players in NBA history, end up with such a catastrophic defensive flaw? Buha's analysis cuts right to the heart of the problem, and it's brutally simple. If we look at the similarities between the losses to the Warriors, Blazers, Hawks, Thunder, and Suns, the first thing that comes to mind is speed and athleticism. Buha notes, there's a real disparity between the Lakers and those teams. Read that list of losses again. Warriors, Blazers, Hawks, Thunder, Suns. What do all those teams have in common? They're fast, they're young, they're athletic, They push the pace relentlessly. They attack in transition before defenses can set. They pressure the ball full court. They make you run and run and run until your legs give out and your defensive rotations fall apart. The Lakers, meanwhile, build a team around IQ and skill. They prioritize basketball intelligence, offensive versatility, and veteran savvy. Luka Doncic is a genius with the ball in his hands. LeBron James is still one of the smartest players alive. Austin Reeves has incredible feel for the game. But here's the problem. Intelligence doesn't matter when you can't keep up. Skill doesn't matter when you're getting blown by on every possession. Experience doesn't matter when younger. Faster players are running circles around you. The Lakers forgot about legs. They forgot that playoff basketball, especially in the Western Conference, is played at a pace that punishes slow teams mercilessly. They can't stop the ball. They can't recover in transition. They're getting pressed and pressured into exhaustion by opponents who are simply more athletic. And the worst part? It's only going to get worse as the season progresses, and LeBron's 40-year-old legs get more tired. This is where Herbert Jones enters the conversation. And once you understand what he brings, once you see how perfectly he solves every single one of the Lakers' problems, you'll understand why his name won't stop coming up in trade discussions. Herbert Jones is not a household name. He's not going to sell jerseys or generate massive social media buzz. He doesn't have the offensive highlights that go viral or the personality that drives clicks. But what he brings is something the Lakers desperately, urgently, critically need: elite defensive versatility combined with the athleticism to actually execute at the highest level. Let's start with the defensive profile. Jones is what scouts call a combo forward, a player who can legitimately defend positions 1 through 4 at an elite level. He has a lateral quickness to stay in front of lightning-quick point guards like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He has the strength to body up power forwards in the post. He has the length to contest shots from players significantly taller than him. And most importantly, he has the basketball IQ to read plays before they develop and disrupt them before they become dangerous. Think about what that means for the Lakers' defensive scheme. Right now, they're asking LeBron James to guard multiple positions every night. They're hiding Luka Doncic on the weakest offensive player because he can't handle elite scorers. They're hoping that Rui Hachimura can somehow become a competent defender despite all evidence suggesting he simply doesn't have the tools. With Jones, all of those problems disappear overnight. Jones would immediately become the Lakers' primary defender on the opponent's best perimeter player. Whether it's Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, or any other elite wing scorer, Jones would take that assignment and allow everyone else to breathe. LeBron could conserve energy on defense, guarding less dangerous players and saving his legs for offense. Luka could be hidden even more effectively. The entire defensive ecosystem would transform. But it's not just about versatility. It's about the specific type of chaos that Jones creates. He's an absolute terror in passing lanes, generating deflections and steals at an elite rate. He's a transition monster, turning defense into instant offense. He's the kind of player who makes opponents second-guess every pass, every drive, every decision. That's the athleticism component that Buha says the Lakers are missing. Jones brings controlled chaos, the ability to speed the game up when the Lakers need it and lock it down when they don't. And here's the beautiful part for the Lakers' offensive system. Jones doesn't need the ball. He's not going to complain about shot attempts or demand touches. He's a smart cutter who knows how to move without the ball. He's a capable corner three-point shooter who can space the floor. Most importantly, he understands his role and excels within it. In a system where Luka Doncic and LeBron James are going to dominate the ball, that's exactly what you need. So if Jones is the perfect solution, what's the cost? What would it actually take to pry him away from New Orleans? And this is where the analysis gets painful for Lakers fans who've grown attached to Rui Hachimura. The proposed trade is straightforward but brutal. The Lakers would send out Rui Hachimura, who's making $18.3 million on an expiring contract. In return, they receive Herbert Jones, whose salary is in the $13 to $14 million range, making the money work without major additional pieces. From a pure basketball standpoint, this trade makes perfect sense for the Lakers. Hachimura has become redundant in their current system. He's a scorer who doesn't defend well and doesn't facilitate for others. In a team where Luka and LeBron control virtually every offensive possession, the Lakers don't need another scorer. They need specialists. They need players who excel at specific roles and make everyone else better. Hachimura, for all his offensive talent, simply doesn't fit that description. Look at it this way. Hachimura's best skill is mid-range scoring and occasional three-point shooting. But the Lakers already have two of the best shot creators in NBA history in Luka and LeBron. They don't need a third option who requires touches to be effective. What they desperately need is someone who can guard the opponent's best player, create transition opportunities, and fit seamlessly into an offense without demanding the ball. That's Herbert Jones in a nutshell. From the Pelicans' perspective, if they decide to pivot toward rebuilding or retooling, Hachimura represents an interesting asset. He's an offensive talent who could flourish with more touches and a larger role. His expiring contract offers immediate financial flexibility, something that's valuable for a team potentially looking to reset. And let's be honest, if the Pelicans are struggling and looking to move pieces, getting a young offensive player plus potentially additional assets for a defensive specialist makes sense. But here's where the urgency really kicks in. And this is the part that should terrify Lakers fans and motivate Rob Pelinka to act immediately rather than waiting until the February trade deadline. The Newsweek analysis raises a critical point about timing and leverage. LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton all have contract situations that could allow them to hit free agency this summer. LeBron has a player option. Hachimura's deal has flexibility. Ayton has a player option. What does that mean? It means that if the Lakers wait, if they hesitate, if they try to ride out this flawed roster construction, they could lose all their leverage. This means that all three players could hit free agency, which could hurt LA's leverage when trying to move any of them via trade. The analysis notes, and that's absolutely correct. Right now, the Lakers are 15-5. They look like contenders. Teams around the league still believe in their potential. Hachimura still has trade value because he's a young offensive talent on a team that's winning.